Okay, everybody, we back for another round of weirdness. Let me see where I can put this phone. Maybe here. Oh, so I don't have a tripod, but I'm gonna get one. So my other one broke. What up, Kiki? How you doing? Wait a little while for everyone to show up and see what happens. How's your crush problems? Are there crush solutions these days? What up, Hami? Your B-Day is in the AM. What you talking about? Okay, don't feel old. Hi, Ami. Yeah. How many of them are you? Oh, well, okay, Ami. Have a good night. Sorry we didn't chat today. Holler at me tomorrow or whatever. And, you got my text though, huh? Funny, right? Text me, said she had... Yeah, you talk to me tomorrow, yeah. She texted me and said she had a dream about me. And that's all I got so far. We'll see. Funny stuff, huh? What up, Unstance? Ripe Soul? I just got on here, yeah. Oh, is that what's going on? That's part of it, too? Hey, Super Champion Rocker, thank you for doing that. Everybody else was was a little behind in the game. I guess they didn't get the note. How long we been out here on YouTube? Just like using a turn signal, you know? What up, Zach Chrono? We'll talk about it later, Kiki. What up, Andrew? New moon tomorrow, that's what's up. Well, and as usual, I made some major transitions a while ago with the moon situation. The moon used to give me energy. Now the new moon, and this is more. I'm gonna, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna wait till until Electric Dial gets on here, and add more fuel into the furnace that we burn the moon down in. Talk about that in a second. Never mind, I'll just say it now when he comes back, so it's on here. Whatever, it don't matter. Yeah, I used to get energy around the full moon. Now when there's no moon, I have more energy. More things happen around a new moon, meaning there's no moon there, right? And there you go, Electric Tie. Speak your name, you walk in. See, more of this real interesting stuff in the moon thing. I used to before when I didn't realize what was going on with the moon, I used to get more energy on a full moon, right? More energy? I don't know. But now, for the past few months, since I've done some things and come to some awareness of things, and including done some magic about it, the new moon, I have way more focus and clarity and energy, and the full moon, it's not as much. There's less traverse. There's not as much, you know, like mostly people get like, oh, it's a full moon, lunacy, crazy, right? And there's always, yeah. The moon. I don't know, Electric Top. I'm still we gonna play with that until somebody knows for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if it's there. If it ain't there, it ain't there, huh? Your eyes deceive you. The clouds aren't there. The sky isn't there. This phone isn't here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it kind of brings some interesting thought to what the moon is, whether it's there or not. The type of energy I got changed. Yeah. Zenith, should you destroy them? Maybe I'll wait for a couple more people to show up because I'm gonna twist that one around for you. What do I think about DMT? I mean, if it comes into your life, I suppose it does it for a reason. New moon on the B-Day. That's wicked. Yeah, it should be a big one. MK, ain't we done no fap or way like? Ain't you been here for any of these conversations? No FAP is for certain people. If you feel like you need to build up some energy and some focus for whatever it might be, then yeah, it's a great idea. But I think, you got kids out here like 18 years old, like they should be, they can't just be like holding all their energy back. That's not a good idea. You'll blow a fuse, you break a brain, you break your brain. Yeah, but you listen to Ripe Soul. There you go. And you can just make sure when you're fapping, don't stare at the picture of the thing that you don't have. Put an image and an idea in your mind and use that energy towards something creative. That's what it's supposed to be used for. Okay, Zenith, here you go. I'll just jump into it right now before I forget about it. Sigils and whether to burn them or not. There's many levels to that. The first main one is the reason you get rid of it is because you don't want anybody else getting a hold of it. This goes back into a long time ago because then you know what? It's like your books and your grimoire. Then people could mess with it. Your grimoire, it should be. That's why there's always a lock and key on it, and you're writing it. It's kind of your diary, your future. And if you don't, it's always put in a lockbox and then hidden in whatever because that's your like life story or whatever. You see? Now let's get down a few levels. Okay, now you're just making sigils. Like back in the day, somebody gets sigil, they know something. They could put energy on it or against you. Where are we now in this day and age? Much less of a problem because people don't even know what a sigil is. But the easiest way to and another level to this, excuse me, is you're transmuting it. Once it's in your, for most sigils, once it's in your subconscious mind, you've already accomplished the task. And then you just burn it, and then it's interacting with the elements. Burning it is usually the best idea. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Burning it is the best idea. Now, if it's a sigil that requires, like you're not certain of, you're not focused on, you built it, you know what it means, you kind of got, but you haven't really cemented it in your mind, like that's exactly going to, it's like a big sigil. It's going to take a while to manifest. Like most people ain't out here like believing that tomorrow they're going to get $1 million check in the mail. You're just not believing it. So therefore you would need to keep that around to kind of instill energy into that, right? Or whatever it might be, usually for larger things, large ideas, even though the universe doesn't care, but most people can't conceive of it. So instilling and charging up subconscious patterns is the idea. But most smaller things you should, I want a blue bicycle. Okay, that's easy enough to consider. You can get a blue bicycle. The universe will manifest that for you. You can look at it, charge it, burn it. It's done. But remember, though, if you do plant that seed, you're getting it. So this is why people ask me, like, oh, can I undo a sigil? I'm like, yeah, you can, but, this will make you be more aware when you're asking for something from the universe to be, as they say, the devil's in the details. You want to detail things out. So sigils can't be something so, like, I want this, because the cost of getting something might be, like, literally, it's, I want $100, but there you look on the ground, and there's a piece of cat shit with $100 sitting in it. You said you wanted $100, right? Yeah, well, there you go. Those are easy enough. There you go. Burn them. Those are done. You don't need to hold on to those. What do you need to hold on? See, think of it this way. Those sigils are your lottery ticket. You don't hold on a lottery ticket to cash that in. You have to get rid of it. If you have a dollar bill and you want that thing over there, you have to give someone the dollar bill for the thing. It's the same thing, you see? Zet Chrono, I never really liked it, but at the same time, I try not to obsess too much about it because so many people say it, and you can't just be like, stop all that blessing me shit, I mean, yeah, in a sense, you don't really want to say be less. I wouldn't say it to someone. I mean, is it a curse? No, it's just trying to bring someone down a little bit. Wow. Zenith. See, there you go. That's why you got to be. The details are important in larger things that you want. You tend to have to put a little. Okay, here's a couple clause in the thing. You know, any kind of. I mean, this is a spiritual contract, if you will, in essence. I mean, those things are easy. You know, there's the ways of getting out of things that are like causing you, that are like kind of. They're clogging you up, or they're tagged onto you. You know, you can get rid of them, but. It's easier just to not do the magic to begin with without a few of the barriers around it. Like making a sigil here. Let me give you a little clue here. I'll do a whole video on. I've done whole videos on this, and I'll do a whole sit down with everybody. I think I talked about this before. Here's a little clue. Whenever you're making a sigil, that first circle, that's a barrier. Okay, now. If you put another circle around that, that's another barrier. And this is why circling and squaring. Like, think about circling and squaring. You're actually causing what is shells and then walls and shells. You're basically pushing the energy out with the angles and then holding it with the circle. And so you can make different things around the circle. You can make little zigzags. You can make all sorts of things. They're just literally, like, if you looked at it as a map, those are like barriers to things. And so those kind of ideas kind of really strengthen or fortify something that you want. So think of that too whenever you're creating a sigil. It's not just necessarily putting a circle around it. The gardener does plant their seed at new moon. Because I don't want to get anything. See, look at, there you go, electric tile. Why? Because of what I always said. Why? Because you want that seed to grow. And if there was a full moon out there, it would kill the seed. The new moon, there's nothing there to destroy the seed. Do I think money is the cause of society's downfall? No, I think eating was. And then the eating turned into trade, and then that trade and barter somehow got leveraged into money. Money is money is one of the major things, but I don't like to just, you know, pitchforks, scoop everything up and throw it into the money is the problem. Because, again, as usually the poison is the panacea, and the money has been a tool and to show humanity something. And each one of us, I'm sure. Something about leveraging, you know, and why it's not a healthy thing and why it doesn't occur in nature. You can't leverage time and energy in nature. You can't make a seed grow faster. You can't, it just doesn't happen. You can't make things unless, of course, you start to change conditions and environments. And then, I mean, that's a very long talk, though. What up, Alchem? What else we got going on here? I'm going to scroll through these comments again. Yeah, interesting that on full moon people want to go out and, you know, the 3 Fs, right? They want food, fucking, and fighting. And it happens more around a full moon. Extraction methodologies of pulling out semen, pulling out... pulling your money out, spending energies. So where are we at here? What did everybody said? Come back on here, and I was gonna. And the title of this was. Hey, about 15 minutes. I haven't even dealt with the title yet, have I? Did I already? I don't even remember. Oh no, Algin, that's terrible. She threw it away. Well, you gotta start your project over. When it comes to having to, you know, when people are out here throwing our piss away, damn them. Funny, when I left that place, I was just doing that last video at, the guy just turns around, he's like, last time I did a fast, I got off it with watermelon, and starts to go into this big thing about fasting and stuff. It was pretty interesting. He was a common, like, I've seen him around before. He's a common New Orleans goofball. I knew him from somewhere. He was a very interesting guy. Ripe soul. I don't necessarily eat seeds of cantaloupe or rock melon. I mean, I'm sure I would. I'd scoop them out and just do what everybody else does. Dry them. Dry them. I think they're better that way. Contraire, look up ancient gardening by the moon. We got, man, Electric, we got this whole moon thing again. I get it. I don't think we're gonna, we just gonna, the moon thing, here's the thing. The moon is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Is it needed? Is it part of the, yeah, but how it got there, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what it is. But, when we start expressing what it's doing, yeah, we're gardening. No, they're gardening by the sun. Just because someone's saying we're gardening by the moon, no, they're gardening by the laws of the sun. The moon is the basically getting in the way. And so to say you're gardening by the moon would mean that you have okay, you want to go out and do something, but your father's an asshole. So when he's around, you can't go out. That's what the moon is. The moon's the asshole that gets in the way of you doing what you'd like to do. That's essentially what it is. I mean, yeah. And a new moon means there's no moon, correct? Which means there's no energy. So if you were to plant your seed around no moon, it's because there's no moon to kill the seed. The sun is the thing that grows it. This is simple thing, but I don't want to go down all that shit again. It's yeah, charge them in the sun. How else does anything get charged? You can put your solar panels in the moon. Or you can put your solar panels in the sun. What are solar panels made of? Crystals, perhaps. Go figure. So what else? What was the name of the title of this? So I can just go off on a little tangent on that. I forgot. I can't access it on here. I can't. There's no button I can push. What is the name of the title? It was like, Common Core spirituality. Yeah. So here's my little rant. It's not even a rant. It's just what was on my mind. So I was looking at a comment on some. Yeah, Electric Towel, I got you on the gardening thing, man. Or woman, whatever you are. I get it. But once again, it's the sun doing the thing. The moon is not. The progenerator of energy is the sun. I mean, maybe you're just using different language than I am or something. Or you haven't heard everything I've said of the moon, or you're just mishearing some words. Again, the moon has its uses. It's just not what people are saying its use is. We're giving it the wrong. So, but yes, I get you. I get that we use the moon as a guide to something. But it's a guide to something in the way of, it's a lock and key where it takes something away from a capacity to do something. Where you wouldn't be gardening by the moon if it was always noon, you could always plant seeds. Because there'd be nothing in the way of doing it. So anyways, so here's the thing. And as well, I'm a gardener too, just a different kind. The Common Core mathematics. Here we go. I was reading a post on Common Core math and how to solve for a problem. And I guess this is And no, the water isn't controlled by the moon. How is the water controlled by the moon? Water is not controlled by the moon. We'll go farther than that in a second, but how is the water controlled by the moon? What is it controlling? Let me finish this thing, and I'm still curious as to what you think the moon is doing to the water. So Common Core mathematics was the essential idea coming into this, and it was somebody was commenting that the way that you solve for a math problem these days, and I think it works right into here, with the way that people think about things, is if you want to get to the answer of 10 minus 4, you just take 4 away from 10. But Common Core teaches you to use a more complex system to do that. Now, solving 10 minus 4, the system looks insane to do it. It looks really ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Like, why would I do math like that? But doing a much more detailed problem, a bigger, if you have a bigger problem to solve, the mathematics of Common Core math actually cause the brain to work at a higher capacity. But you have to, it's running a different program. And so people that don't like Common Core are all old people that got taught 10 minus 4 is 6. Because they can't conceive and conceptualize larger methodologies of how to solve problems. And this is funny enough, I was in advanced mathematics when I was in school. Because I was doing Common Core math in my head, I just didn't know what it was called. And teachers were trying to foul me from classes that I was in advanced class because they were saying I was cheating because I wasn't doing the work like they were telling us to do it. I was doing I was using a higher system, a higher ordered system. And so in this whole spiritual thing here, what needs to be understood is there's a level of spirituality and awareness that people have that it's basically old math. But then, there's Vedic mathematics, there's Common Core math, there's a bunch of other different systems of math and way to solve problems that are much more sophisticated and more intelligent. But it doesn't make it, for someone solving for small problems, 100 minus 50. Yeah, the simple math is the way to go. But they can't even get to the point of thinking about solving the more complex equations that the other system will work much faster and much more appropriately for. It'd be like, it's the mind of a chess master. And they teach you the mind of a chess master. But then the person over here playing checkers is just saying, no, why all these extra things here? What's all this extra stuff? All we got to do is move one piece. It's like, no, we're actually playing a bigger game here now. So therefore, we're giving people the tools and systems to solve more complex equations. And in the world of spirituality, like that is literally what it is. We're out here as problem solvers, as like people that are trying to find solutions to old paradigms of knowledge, learning, whatever. And you have people here that are just on a mundane path of spirituality that thinks like, oh yeah, somebody already dug out the track to be spiritual. And that's not what's up. That's not what's good. That's not how it works. Common Core spirituality is literally to upgrade all of the systems. People think spiritual is just to mean to go sit in meditation. And I'm out here like, no, you need to be doing something. You need to know something about your physical body. Everybody's, oh, no, you just meditate. You can fix all your problems in your body. Like, you screwing with people right now. You screwing with people. Oh, you can just meditate, and then in 10 years, your meditation practice will be perfect, and you'll be able to control things in your body? I doubt it. Who's gonna stay meditating for 10 years to get that? When I could be like, hey, you just do like 3 things right now, and in about 2 weeks, your body will be in a better condition. And then your meditation practice will be easier to do. And now all of a sudden we've just upgraded everything because we're not following that standard practice of, oh, here's how spirituality works. Here's what you need to do. Come join the yoga class. Go see Baba Ganoush over here. And Yogi Bobby Ganoush. And they're not going to teach you anything about the actual what yoga is, the yoking of all aspects of this, this experience we're having. It's not just one-dimensional. Spirituality becomes one-dimensional to so many people that they can't even get outside of what they think spirituality is, and they become lost in the sauce. So yeah, that was the kind of the mode of thought I was having about how people see mathematics and the paradigms of um, complex working systems within the mind that some people just can't do. They don't have the capacity because they were trained on a inferior system. Electric towel. I have grown sprouts. Man, you love the moon. You like. I mean, you like. Yeah, moon. I love you. This is all you are to my whole world. I'm being funny, but I mean, this is because we've covered it so many times, and I just, it's kind of one of those like. It's becoming it's understood to who listens to me and can understand it, and to I guess to you, you're not getting what I'm saying, and I'm not getting what you're saying. Although I've studied the systems, and I've this is my theory, my practice, and my the qualifying things of what I think the moon is, because I think we've been completely led astray, absolutely, on what the moon is, because nobody can say, nobody actually knows. It is very mysterious, and so that when somebody says no, we're going to use the moon, you don't even know what it is. Use the sun. We know what the sun is. We're getting exactly what the sun says every single time. I'm not saying, as I've gone into this all before about all the magical practices, all the things it can be used for, absolutely. But I think people should know how to work with the sunlight first, because the sun's right there and it's literally just shining and you can see everything you're doing before people start going off into the dark and going, hey, under this little guise with the moon, and we can do all this occult practice and make this, because that's what happened. And the whole system of the moon is all the darkest of the dark occult, which I don't think a lot of people should be, And most people are even. That's the thing, is most people are starting down the path. Everyone's on a moon path already, and that's why culture is all jammed up. You come out the womb, and as soon as you come out the womb, everything about the moon is in your face. Your parents better have that moonie to pay for everything in the doctor's office. You better have those moon cult worshipping pharmaceutical reps. I mean, come on. There's a whole larger system here that that's my 500, 600 videos of work. Really, the body of knowledge that I'm trying to bring forth literally is the moon, Saturn, time, cube, matrix. That's it. And just to say you can't, something about sprouts ain't gonna like put much of a dent into my bigger theory on this. Yeah, Common Core math. It's a funny thing. I mean, I can see how it's a little troubling for people, for sure. I mean, it's like, old person, like, even for me, like, look at it this way. I'm like, I feel like an old person, with the VCR, they'd be like, well, I just want to push the button. How do you program this goddamn thing? And I'm playing with the computer, like, I'm like, can't I just push a button? I don't want to have to know how to build a computer. I got myself an Android. I got myself an Apple to avoid the complexities of actually having to use the what is that? There's basically the other operating system that really smart computer people use, whatever it's called. But like, yeah, I'm like, I paid the extra money because I don't want to have to do all this shit. I just want to push a button and I want the program to work. That's all. What you talking about, Zenith, and your new thongs? Mm-hmm. Xenia guys, the moon is the yin yang system? Maybe. I don't know though. MK, what about stars? It's a very broad question. What about them? We've dipped in this before. Stars seem to be portals, and their energy they're just basically lights, moving fluxes of energetic pulses of lights. They're not, you know, uh, they seem to be portals to other places. I don't know what you mean. Like, what about stars? Yeah, there you go. Gaz gave you the answer. Saturn cube gave you the answer. Stars hold inner worlds. Yeah, the reflective thing of those stars out there are reflective of what's inside of you. And so there's a interesting go out through the star to come back inside of yourself, or you know, it's just a point of focus outside of you. What up, Adam W? I'm not understanding what you meant there. No moon to make money. I don't know what you mean there. Because of the way you're spelling it, I don't know if there's a question or what. Rephrase that. Oh, what up, Sun? Oh, Sun Soul. How you doing? I'm supposed to talk to you today. Let's do that tomorrow. I totally blanked on that. I'll chat with you tomorrow, okay? We'll get on that tomorrow. Just hit me on the email. Don't feel like you're bothering me or bugging me. Just remind me. If I don't get a reminder, I just kind of off doing my day. All right, Kiki. Ooh, Reza, I don't know much about that. I've read about it a little bit, but have I ever been in love? Sure. Electric tile. Zen, my friend, I see that you see the moon as false and obstructive, but we must see it as a mechanism of yin and yang. I can see that you believe the sun is all. There is more, my friend. This is the confusing part to me, Electric tile. I've blatantly many times said that's not what I believe. So that's what. How do you see that I see that when I've literally said no, that's not what I see? We've had this conversation, this exact conversation where I was like, no, the moon has a job to do and is doing it, and it's there for a reason now with all of the people that have been poisoning themselves, that it's used as an extraction unit for all of the poison. It has a purpose. I don't I don't see it as, false. It might. I don't know how it got there, okay, and neither do you. I mean, if you do know, please let me know. But I don't. There's a lot of people make claims about a lot of things that they haven't. We don't know. I don't know what the moon is. I don't know what the sun is. I make educated guesses at it. But when people outright say this is what it is, I'm like, I don't know. But we can certainly see, as I've said before, the moon has a job to do. It's been doing it. But it's about time that it doesn't need to do that job anymore as the surrogate mother to the system, which is completely binary and artificial. And when I say binary and artificial, I'm saying it from the sense of like, it's... I just think I've said it so many times, and I don't know how you it's almost as if you gloss over the times that I say no, the moon is doing something good, but it's not helping a grand number of people. It's a bigger part of the if you believe there's some sort of like thing going on out there with the people that have been screwing with our world, if there are some sort of, well, I don't know, aliens, or maybe not aliens, maybe they're just Illuminati or whatever, call them whatever we want, but we can certainly say that the economic system doesn't seem to be in anyone's favor, does it? What more can, how many more times can I say it in the same exact way that the whole money-based system is based on the moon, and money is only leveraged energy to a point to make sure we have people starving and dying in the streets. And we have people that are literally being poisoned by pharmaceutical companies. Without the moon matrix system that is based upon the salts and the heavy metals, that doesn't occur. So, once again, and this whole, who invented the yin, and I always go back to this, who invented the yin and yang? Who the fuck cares about the yin and yang? If you want to have a yin and yang, have a trin and trang. Have a triune thing. Then make it 4, then make it 5. Let's divide it all up. But if you're still in the dual system of saying the sun is the opposite of the moon, that's wrong. It just is. It's the sun and the earth. The moon is just not, yeah, the moon's there, we get it. But it's not there when it's not there. It's obviously doing something different when it's full than it is when it's not full. See or no? Yes? So it means that it's obviously altering something within the system that it's providing. Giving or taking. But the moon is the sun is 100% doing what it's doing every single time it's doing it. There's no confusion. So if there's anything about the mystery and the confusion that's been caused, has quite a bit to do with, well, I don't know. I'd rather not see my family starve. I'd rather not see people like in the gutters because they're on pharmaceutical drugs. And I know that came out of everything to do with the people that use a system based upon time, money, the moon, and I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just a fact. You can't argue those things. We can guess all day at what it might be, but Yeah, I know that. I know nothing. Plato. Check stars are only lights in the sky. Oh, you're saying to check those? Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. All right, ripe soul. Who's out? Lion strong. A Reza, maybe he comes through when he comes through. What up, Beeman? What you doing here? You wiling out? It's okay to be gay, money worshipping. Yeah, that too. It might be a light projection. I can see through the moon in the day. You can never see through the sun, but you definitely see through the moon, huh? Weird. What up, Truth Addict? Ain't no new age. Ain't no the newish. Well, how about hey Gauze? How about newish? It's sort of new. It's no-ish. No, Electric Tower, and just to finish that off one more time, some false reality or matrix. No, I mean it's not false, it's occurring. That's the point. It's not there. It's not false. Everything around us is here. In fact, the last show I did was exactly on this concept here. No, it's right here. It's happening. I'm not saying that. But if somebody kept shitting into the stew, and everybody goes, "Oh, yeah, that's fine. Sometimes it's less shit at the beginning of the month, more shit at the end of the month. We'll just eat the stew." And I'm saying, like, well, maybe we just stop putting the shit in the stew. It's observing a dilemma in the system and correcting it, or creating a new system. And a new system wouldn't include that, would it? I mean, that's what I'm saying. You'd create a soup that didn't use shit in it. Because as I go back to the earliest talks I've ever done, what kind of insane person, maybe it was me, maybe it was you, maybe it was all of us, would design a system that looks like what we're looking at now? That is completely, the whole fulcrum is money. The whole fulcrum is the time. And it's all based upon clocks that were representative of the moon. Moon cults. The whole thing, the whole system. It's a bizarre one. It's patriarchy. It's all about that. So I don't know, man. It's not that. It's not a false reality. It's definitely a matrix. Everything's a matrix. I don't know. Electric Tie, you get real mad about this. Well, okay, it's a living spirit. Sure, if you say so, prove it. How does that work? You're certain those aren't just somebody up there with put lights in the sky, or isn't a cube of, you been up there? Did you fly up there? Did you get out of body and do it? You know, I just don't get it. Like, what's the, you know, what's the obsession over it? You know, what else is a living system? You know, like, the moon is a fucking living spirit. I don't know, man. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, you know, people get on this thing, you know, you do mushrooms once and you see spirit and energy and everything. Yeah, energy, spirit, okay, great. But, I don't know. Who are we talking to here? You talking to the 99% of people that haven't, the 99.9999% of people that now we just have to take faith in what you're saying, that the moon is a fucking living spirit? We've been listening to people that have been saying stupid shit for millennia, so I have a hard time judging and gauging people's, especially when you say something so like, okay, is the sun a living spirit? I don't think so. I think it's a portal for spirits. So now, okay, now are we caught off? Now see, maybe you think the sun's a spirit, and I don't. I think the sun is a portal. Shit, that might just screw everything up, right? But nonetheless. Yeah, what up, Fernandez? Yeah, Electric, I love you too, man. But you know, it's just like, this is one of the things that I think will be the crux of any issue going forward as humanity. Like, I think it's one of the I think it's more important than flat Earth, really, because of our entire culture. We're blind to our obsession with it. Even the people that don't even know it are completely obsessed with it. It's in all of our language. Everything we do is dictated by it. It might still be there. It might be a living soul. I'm not dismissing that. Remember that. I'm not dismissing that. It might be a living soul. It might be there. The moon was probably created by the anus. It's an interesting concept. You think it's a poop hole? Are you asking me, Zenith? Oh, no, that's for MK. What's up, Danny? Okay. Danny said she was coming back. The party has started. Zetetic Gym back in the building. So someone can steer this conversation. We will... Oh! And Antone Anania. I thought you were making a joke. I thought you were being funny, really. Yeah. Anunnaki. Yeah, okay. I mean, it is connected to ISIS and the Isisian thing, and so I think there's some interesting connections. I think probably Dan Winter probably go real deep on the Anunnaki connection to the moon. But then again, there's some shit that Dan Winter says that I'm just like, I don't know. The dude's talking some stuff about gravity, and I don't think he thinks the Earth is flat. So well, you know, he's an engineer, man. So sometimes his language, he kind of disguises things. I mean, one of my favorite teachers. I love him, but you know. Ripe Soul. That's a possibility. So Jay-Z and Rosanna are somewhat possessed by their entities. I suppose. I think everyone is. You know? Think about times that you've gone to work and someone's like irritated you and you just find yourself like, oh, fuck this dude. Just like, ah, or whatever. Or, I mean, you know, have a smoke, have a drink, go out with different kinds of people, and they'll pull or push your buttons or get something else out of you. Now that could be just part of your projection from your spirit and what you are, but it could also be something inside of you that isn't necessarily you. You know, there's little bits and pieces of it. Remember, you have stagnant pieces of information throughout your body. From eating and memories, and those stored up memory charges are literally um, how to put this? Those are in the same way. What you could have inside of you a system that is another spirit. Like, so certain things could unlock that in your brain of a spirit, or it could literally be a spirit that walks into your body. Like people invite that. That's not like I can't say I've ever seen that firsthand, but I've seen a couple crazy things. And considering the amount of magic that I assume we all just live in anyways, that there's a lot of things that are possible. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers it. Yeah, well, you say entities. Look at let me be real simple with it. If Jay-Z and Rihanna work for the company called Rockefeller, right? Rockefeller, let me make this a little deeper. Rockefeller makes money. If they become obsessed by the money, they become possession. I don't know. If they become obsessed with the money, or they like the entity because it's a corporate entity, that's what it's called. I'm gonna go out with this a second. Hold on. Not only can that entity from a physical manifestation point of reference, meaning like here on this earth, we just went ahead and built corporation. We built corporation Ripe Soul. You built that. All of a sudden, you as your spirit start making money and doing things, but you have an agenda for that business, that entity. And it comes to some point that you need to actually change how you are and behave and are as a being, as a spirit, to conform to what the entity of Ripe Soul Corporation does. Ripe Soul Corporation, you said, I wanna sell grapefruit. I wanna sell oranges. That's what you're doing. You'd have to do everything within your spirit to engage with the mentality and all of the processes it would take to sell grapefruit. You want cheaper grapefruit? You might have to go to somewhere you wouldn't normally go. You might have to do things to, and all of a sudden you want to participate in something else. Well, your business doesn't apply for that. It doesn't. So you're the energies that go into you. Now this is just strictly from a physical standpoint and a physical level, but it's still adjusting his psychology. Now, to what degree? Now, if we say, is there literally a spirit or something? Let's take that entity to the next level of what is literally an entity that's living in another realm. That's a good possibility. He could have given up his spacesuit to some other spirit, just like people that channel. When people, they roll the eyes back or do a thing and go, and then they go through, hi, I'm so-and-so. And they go through into this big channeling session. They're basically giving up their broadcasting system for that wave of energy. And so what's not to say that they're not doing that? The cost was, I want to use your body to do something so I can incarnate. That's what the spirit says. That other spirit, that other entity, because an entity is a spirit. And for letting me do that for 10 minutes. I mean, you've all seen this movie. I think this was I forget the name of the movie, but this chick says, "Hey, I just want to be in your body for like whatever amount of minutes, and then you can have your body back." I don't remember what the movie was. It was a comedy, but think of it that way. And in return, I'll give you $10 million. Somebody's like, sign me up. Hopefully that gave you a lot for that question there. I think I really zoomed in on that for you. The Anus, yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice, Danny. That sounds delicious. Well, Anton Anania. The interesting thing to everything to do with anus, is really there. Because the anus is a brown black portal. It's a waste dump. Has a lot of really, the words don't just become what they are without a reason. There was a reason that was called an anus. Yeah, I remember somebody a long time ago made the statement, we don't need definition, or we don't need dictionaries, we need definitionaries. Is that Chrono? Give it a try. Let us know how it. Let's see how it works. And yeah, and if I do this retreat, that would be part of it. We'll do a. We can do We can do a dark room retreat. Montauk Chia, I believe he does them. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad I just caught up here. Ripe Soul. Am I good now? Somebody say I'm lagging here. Poopy butt hat. I know about that. a bit poppy poopy. Truth addict. Have I ever tried DMT? I'm always dripping DMT. What do you what do you think I'm doing now? No, I've never out. No, but then again, yes, because every plant, you know, and there's a lot of other substances that I've taken that have avenues to that. I mean, every time I'm going to sleep at night, if I can get out of body and all that, all the dreams and everything. Yeah, I've played with it. I've never specifically though, you know. Lion Strong, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. I don't know. I guess because here Lion Strong, that's just a really silly. You know, this is a basic question. I guess it seems like a scary movie shot in the woods because in the city, you walk out the house, you like knock on your neighbor's door, like, yo, there's a fucking thing with the. And then the movie's over. You need that extra space for all the screaming and weirdness and the chick to run out in the forest and trip on something and yeah, that's the. Danny, that's funny. I always find myself doing that. Just like that's what feels comfortable. The Egyptian gods. You sleep with your hands across. Well, there's a reason for it too. Do you know how do you? Hey, Danny, do you know which hand you put down first and what one you put on top? Left down and then right over, or is it the other way around? Why don't you take a look? Why don't you take a look at those Egyptian tombs? And those aren't tombs. Those are basically. Well, I don't want to get in that all here. That turns into a long thing, but basically like isolation chambers. But yeah. Yeah, Anton, I dig it with all the Atlantis and Anunnaki stuff, but it's just hard to like get to the point of separating your mind and point like where is the Anunnaki and pointing and saying is that one? Are they not here anymore? Are they left? Are they invisible? Are they in a different frequency? Are they underground? Are they in spaceships that can like interdimensionally travel? Are they do they have a key to the barrier of the wall that they just go out and just like peace? We'll see you guys later, or are they just walking around with us? Or are we them and we just have to return on our all of our systems basically. Like we're already in the spaceship, right? And if you get really into it, like God became man so man could become God. So God created Anunnakis. God created, it just becomes Anunnaki. Ooh, the Nephilim. Ooh, Nibiru. And you say, why are the Nephilim so big? What about Nibiru? And you say, Nibiru, was that the NBA? The Giants? Giants in the football league? The Nephilim? The NFL? Huh. Is that them? Are we them? Are we all, are we all part of that bloodline? Is there separation somewhere? Yeah, Saturn. Guys, I like that. Just take control of the psychedelic systems. Because in the beginning and what we are now, like, everything is psychedelic. If you know, I did a talk, you should all check it out if you haven't seen it, on psychedelics and how everything is basically, everything is supposed to be psychedelic for you. You're supposed to be looking at the world. Like, literally, a child is tripping balls all day long. until we start screwing with its, start shoveling all of these meats in their mouth, start shoveling all this crap in them, and then all of a sudden their pineal glands like stops dripping. They become fearful of everything. It's all of these fears that come into the child, and all of a sudden their dream world shut off. Their whole life is just, now it's, when do you start to remember things? Right around when those systems cross. That's a very big thing that I don't want to get into here, but we'll talk about that sometime. But yeah. But everything is psychedelic. It should be, at least. Danny, are you asking me the stuff that was under their head made of gold or copper? Clarify your question, Danny. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, tombs. The wombs to the tombs. And the tomes. MK, are you everyone? How much power do you believe we have over our world, or how those feel around us? I think, it's kind of, you grow your auric field, and that affects people, and you can affect, yeah. It's like you're granted enough space around you to have an effect on things around you. And how much power? I think it's unlimited, but to access it's not that easy, No, in fact, how about this? It's very easy, but most people won't go through the processes to get it, because to have access to everything, you have to desire nothing. It's a whole confusing game, and I'm not trying to turn this into some sort of yogi babble about like how the mind works, but just in real terms, your ability to create magic, to create energy, to have energy, and to have an effect on the world is in some sort of correlation to awareness of the entire thing. Like, if you have no awareness of 3 blocks away, you can have no effect on it. So awareness happens to be a big key into and awareness is consciousness. Consciousness is having that, I don't know, like a map of things, and then be able to go in and to like push energy into things. You can do it through many different levels, but yeah, quite a bit. It's just most people don't have the time for that. They don't have. What's it said? If you, I suggest you go meditate for an hour. And student said, I ain't got time to meditate for an hour. Teacher says, okay, then go meditate for 2. Fight line strong. Oh man, that's awesome. Sun Soul, Flat Earth, and the old Power Rangers movies. That's awesome. I'll check that out. And I didn't see the movie The Gods of Egypt. Yeah, I know that I know nothing. In mythology, it says the giants came to mate with the earth women. I think there's a lot of ways to play with that allegory. I think and it also says the gods came down to mate with the daughters of men. There's a lot of allegory to play with there. That maybe we'll save for another time, because I'm getting a little tired, and I don't know if I have that much juice in me to get into the electrical masculine energy coming down and all of that. But the giants, it's possible. I mean, I do think there might be more land somewhere. It seems like it's big enough where it could be. I mean, because who knows? Who has literal, like, who's been there with cameras? Who's telling us? It's always where are we getting this information from? What up, Deplorable 10v3? Antone Ananya, you keep asking for a quick fast recipe, what to use and for how long. The fact that you want a fast, and like you're so amped to do it, is like a reason I'd say don't do it. You're like too amped up. And I like I said earlier, just do a juice fast. Just like make this easy for you. Just start juicing fruits and drink fruit juice. And do that for as long as you feel comfortable. And I think that will do the most to give you the most benefits out of it. And then during that time, you'll find yourself doing a little more studying on just water fasting in general. And then you'll be able to clarify for me some of your questions you have about fasting. So that way I can direct you that to tell you like right here in the middle of a conversation what fasts do for what. I don't know anything about you. I know not a thing. I don't know how tall you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how much you weigh. I don't know what your diet's been. Those are all vital questions to getting into how long and what to fast on. But I can say certainly for 99% of people, juice. Or if you want to get real with it, start drinking your piss right now. But I'm assuming you probably don't want to do that. I never noticed that, Danny. And I guess I'm a little far behind here. Distilled water is still going to be better than anything. If all you can get is from Truth Addict, if all you can get is from the stuff at Walmart, and you really legitimately can't afford to buy a $100 distiller off of Amazon, you realize it's going to pay for itself in under 3 months. But I'm not trying to sell you distiller. That's obviously the way to go. But distilled water, yeah, Walmart's going to be fine because most of that water has only been there for a couple days. So the amount of plastic that it's leached is going to be very minimal. So the benefit, the cost to benefit scenario, I think is in your favor. So I would say, distilled water is still going to be better than anything else you're getting. Sun Soul, the old Babel story. Yeah, the Tower of Babel. Spoke on this quite a few times. I mean, what do you mean, what do I think of it? Like, how did it occur? I mean, like, the confusion of the tongues. I mean, that's a really, really, really long story. I mean, that's another one, like, I don't have that kind of juice in me right now to get into all that we need to discuss from a lot of different angles about the story of Babel. And Truth Addict, just start drinking it. You don't need to clean your system. That's the point of drinking it, to clean your system. The DMT comes out of the gut. Interesting. So it would be the plant getting pulled apart in the gut to produce that. It's naturally produced there, then gets up into the brain to use. Is that like the idea? Is that the idea that everybody has about producing the anointed oil of the DMT maybe in the gut that goes up the spine? I don't, there's so many books on it now, like the Rick Strassman one, but then there's ones that get into a few other ideas of, its connection seems to be to something like Kundalini maybe. So I don't know. That's interesting. Electric Towel. Yeah, I know. Plain Truth. Yeah. Super Champion Rocker. We all know the answer to that is the first one. Berenstein. Steen. It's never been Stain. No way. But as always, out of all of the mandala effects, I'm happy to chalk that up to like, but it is that's a pretty interesting one. I do like it. It's fun. That's a fun little one. It's a fun game. There's been a few with songs that lyrics got changed that I'm like, That I know, and that's weird. Fasting takes time. Nothing fast about fasting. Yeah. Let him know, Elchem. Drink the piss. Deplorable. Alkaline water is no. No, you don't want alkaline water. Alkaline water is not the move. Alkaline water is a fad, and maybe worse. Maybe at worst it's not good. At worst it's bad for you. But it's not a good idea. There's too many things that go into that. Because there's a difference between alkaline and alkalized. There's we get into chemical things, we get chemistry, and we start chopping up what water is. What we want is called water. Distilled water. We want the chemicals H2O. Stop there. That's perfect. Because as an alchemist, you know what an alchemist would do? Or a chemist in a laboratory? They would clean all their equipment, and they would use air, fire, earth, and water. And in air is oxygen. In water, it's hydrogen and oxygen. Let's not get off that pH scale and start adding some sodium bicarbonate, and let's start chopping things up, because alkaline water ain't even water. Go look up the chemical. Look up what it actually is. It's not even water anymore. I mean, you're getting Danny. Alkaline is good when your piss turns alkaline. Alkaline is good in fruits and vegetables, acid, alkaline. There's all sorts of balances here, but the term alkaline water is just trashed. It's trash. Nick Durstein. You know what's funny? I've heard a lot of this lately. Somebody started explaining to me. It seemed like too much of a system. Like somebody had something to sell. I ain't read into it too much. It seems like the majority of it's pretty good, but I can't really comment on it because I haven't seen it. Deplorable. We'd rather not drink the piss. Yeah, some people would rather not. All right, Ripe Soul. Good to see you. Berenstein, exactly. Let him know. Mandela effect is funny. Yeah, Nick Bernstein was never Berenstein. I don't know. This shit is that's the. Yeah, Antonia. I've already assumed that you're a fasting novice, and that's why I say do juice. But again, once again, all the other questions still apply. All the other questions are even more important. If you came to me and you're 350 pounds, and you got blood clots and heart problems and high blood pressure and shit, I'm gonna take you on a much different path than if you been eating right and you know you've been vegetarian for 4 years and you're in decent shape and you exercise. I mean, we're talking like wildly different things. Yeah, Danny, I mean, alkaline is a great idea, but the processes that people have introduced to get us to being alkaline is not a good idea. I'll be very clear in that to clarify things for people from the sense of, like the moon thing earlier, people not really hearing exactly what I'm saying. I want people to hear me hear clearly as well about the alkaline. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to help provide your body to get into an alkaline state. I'm saying the methods that people are introducing, saying that here, if I give you alkaline, you get alkaline is not good, especially considering all of the things that are, you know, claimed to be alkaline, and there's too many bogus things going on. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, so deplorable. Hopefully that helps you. I got, yeah. You want upgrading? Listen, cancer will be killed by acid and alkaline just as much the same. You know, I mean, really, acid will burn cancer, so alkaline, right? The point is, you want your body. So I can help. That's an easy fix. You want to start putting living food in your body, and it will do the job for you. All of the you don't got to be on some like, we can't have this because it's too acid. We can't have this; it's too alkaline. It doesn't work that way. And the water itself needs to be distilled and pure and clean so it can do the job that water is supposed to do, which is to remove everything from the body. Yeah, the Bernstein thing is a fun one, huh? The Sun Soul, you tried PP 2 years ago and then 2 weeks later had severe abdominal pain, ended up in the ER and gallbladder removed. I mean, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about your diet, where you came from, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things that go into that. If somebody just takes one shot of pee and then they're like, I got a gallbladder problem, like, that's not the pee that gave you gallbladder problems. That's, you had a lifetime of doing things that put your gallbladder and your liver into a bad place. Like, that ain't pee doing it. Pee is actually the solution to that. And in fact, if you would have, you know, that's a really strong, like, you know, that's a little too much to get into, but apple cider vinegar water, yeah, for some things, you know, depends on what the goal is. Super champion rocker. So check it out. I got like 5 more minutes, y'all. I'm pretty tired. Speaking of electric towel, was asking how much power do we need? Yeah, there we go. That's correct. We are the power until we've exhausted it, huh? And then we go into the dark matter. We go into the dream world to go access some more power. We clean out our system. We go to a charging station. Wake up in the morning refreshed. Resonance, yeah, the mandala is some fun stuff. I did a whole video on what the mandala effect I think is. It has to do with a mandala and changing time. Antone, I assume you're asking me again how long on, so long as it's comfortable for you. The rest of your life. If you could get on a juice fast and fast for the rest of your life. I don't know. You know? It's just way too many variables. I mean, especially because I don't even know who you are at all. Like, I haven't even chatted with you before. So, like, coming into it, just say, hey, go do 20 days on water, and be kind of, if you ain't with other people that are healthy, there's gonna be lots of problems with that, you know. The Berenstein is fun, huh? Yeah, sir. Yeah, Sun Soul. Doctor said it was stress, huh? Right. Yeah. Hey, so yeah, Sun Soul. Like I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow about all the other stuff too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alkaline soul to survive. Yeah, it's funny is they used to be. There's acid batteries too. Yeah, yeah. So this is why people take it. See, this is why I like to say people take it take it too far. I've done, yeah. The alkaline thing is people taking it too far and not understanding how to create that environment. You know, It's like thinking. Let me try this. It's like thinking that if you eat muscle, you'll make muscle. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because eating the muscle, eating the protein that is the muscle, you have to chew it up and put it into your body, and then your body has to break it down to the simpler forms and then recreate it as the muscle. It's actually taking more energy away from you, and it's not actually creating what you need. You're not. You don't take an automobile and crush it up and then build another one out of it. Doesn't make any sense. You take the tiny little parts, put them together to create the automobile. And so, in the same way, the environments we're talking about have to be built that way. The same way your muscle isn't built out of muscle. It's built about all the precursors. All the precursors for your bones create your bones. So, in that same way, this acidic environment that we're building within inside the body, we don't just throw alkaline in the body and think that's going to work. Because if you keep throwing alkaline in the body's smart. It's like, whoa, there's too much alkaline in here, and we'll start producing a lot of acid. And you'll start throwing your body out of balance. It will work and do something helpful for a little while. But, again, it's not the whole story. Whoa, that's crazy, deplorable. Yeah, oh man, Nick Dernstein. Yeah, this is where I've been hearing all this dry fasting and pissing out solids. It don't seem right to me, man. You should not be, your piss. You shouldn't have things coming out of your pee hole that isn't liquid. Dry fasting is not for the uninitiated. Dry fasting is not something people should be doing out of nowhere. This sounds, now that I'm hearing it a little better, Nick, it sounds pretty bad. It sounds awful. But again, I haven't read the whole thing, so don't like quote me. I'm like, wow, Zen said it's the worst thing, but I don't see that this. I have a big dilemma with people out of nowhere wanting to be healthy and like, what's the best way to get healthy? And if I was like, yeah, just start dry fasting tomorrow, that'd be insane. It wouldn't make any sense. The only people who should be dry fasting. I did this. Listen to my earlier talk today. I talked about this completely. But essentially, dry fasting is for people to extract energy in a way that you can't extract when your body is full of toxins. So we'll just put it that way. It's my take on ingesting liver. I don't do it. All right, Alchem. What up, MK High Tech? Yeah, turmeric and milk thistle are great for the liver. Yeah, guys, I'm about to kick it though. I'm super taking a nap, you know. So so I'll try to check you guys tomorrow. Hope you had fun. I'm just kind of beat. I did 3 of these today, so feel free if you didn't get enough of me right here to go check the earlier ones out. I had a little more spunk in my step. So we'll talk soon, y'all. Have a beautiful night. I'm just gonna check through these last comments and roll out of here. Yeah, deplorable. You're right about that alkaline thing, though. Water distiller. Start with the middle, and let your body adjust. If the body wants homeostasis and balance, 7 is it. Distilled water is right around there, right? Let your body decide how to do that. Yeah, that's right. Butte. Lemon water is acidic, but when you ingest it, it becomes alkaline in the body. See, that's proof of the body using an acidic substance to produce an alkaline environment. Nature already provided it for you. Yeah, electric towel. Like I said, man, I'll try to get that tomorrow. I'm getting mad tired, Joe. All right, Unstons and Jordan, thank you again, dude. I'll chat with you later. My brain is pretty melting. I'm super tired. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes. I had a couple of beers. I'm a little tired, anyways. All right, yeah. So deplorable. This all doesn't show up to me later. So feel free to get at me and watch my other videos, put a comment and or whatever, and chat that way. All right, yo.